This is Rob Jacobson, Infowars.com, Occupy Wall Street event. Sir, you've been noticing that I have strong feelings about the Fed. What are you going to say?
I was going to say, I think this movement is about who controls the Fed. And there's a common cause here. There's a common cause. I've been talking to a lot of the Ron Paul people that have showed up here, and including an Alex Jones guy was here yesterday, and I talked to him. I agree, there's common ground. There's common ground here. The problem is who controls the Fed and the manipulation that goes on behind that. I would be afraid of a situation where we'd give Congress the same power that we give the Fed.
Well, that's written in the Constitution. Congress is supposed to control the money, not a private Federal Reserve System.
The Fed is actually unconstitutional. I absolutely agree with you. It actually, if the Supreme Court had ever made a just ruling on that and corporate personhood, if the Supreme Court had ever done its job, we wouldn't be in the situation where we are.
As of 1913, when the Fed was introduced to this country, the dollar plunged in value, and it's still plunging to this day. They're not a...
You know the quote from Thomas Jefferson, keep us internally in debt, and that's what Andrew Jackson was fighting against, and that we're back to that point. Hopefully the public is waking up.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot on the news that they've been specifically pointing out that maybe this movement has a communist solution. Do you think they are representing this movement accurately?
It's precisely, that's propaganda. It's absolute propaganda. There are some socialists here, you could use that word. There are some Marxists here, but this is a very, very broad movement. And when the unions show up here, most of the unions they're not socialists. They're not trying to completely overthrow the system. We're trying to go back to having a system where the people actually benefit, promote the common welfare. That's in the Constitution too. We're not at that point right now.
Alex called for an occupation of the Federal Reserve System right down the block as a solution, as a solidarity move. What do you think?
Do you know how well guarded that building is?
Isn't that curious that that's well guarded, and over here it's a little...
Oh, that's much better guarded than almost any other building here.
You think they might be scared of an occupation of the Federal Reserve?
If people started going close to that building, you would see some real violence. You will see more than pepper spraying, because I know how well, I work right next to that building. I know how well it's guarded.
So they're scared of an actual movement, but they're not really concerned about this. That's the way I see it. What do you think?
The powers that be are terrified that the people might wake up. They're terrified. That's why they control the media up until now. And that's why it's so cool to watch what's happening with the internet. I am on the side of Alex Jones. I'm on the side. I was here at 9/11. I still think that was allowed to occur. I don't go as far as most of the conspiracy theorists, but it was allowed to occur because they knew they could increase the military budget. They knew we could go into Iraq. They knew we could serve Israel's interests if we just, this is all part of a bigger, look at this t-shirt. It's all part of a bigger game. But I have a question for you.
Sure.
The gold standard. If we went to the gold standard, now we know who controls the gold right now.
Right.
Gold. How could we get that back to the people?
Well, I think the message is that gold is solid money. It's not a fiat currency, which will depreciate in value. And
but who controls it? Who has it in their vaults, including the Fed?
Exactly. It's
Who has it? The Swiss. Who has all the gold right now?
These are really interesting questions.
It's a dangerous situation if you say suddenly we go on the gold standard. And gold depends on the supply. The supply can be manipulated. We already know that. It's the price. You know what the price is today?
The price of gold,
it's right around $1,600.
Right.
Dropped $300 and some dollars
in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Well, the truth is that there are a lot of economists who have, different solutions. One is a gold standard. Others are bring the money powers back to Congress. But, right now the money powers is in the private Federal Reserve System that is accountable to no one. I think that we should reverse directions from that and maybe discuss these other solutions.
Not give it to this Congress, though.
Well, we have to start getting it back to where the Constitution was at. Sir, I appreciate your time.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
I don't trust the people either.
Yeah, me too.
Neither did the Constitution. The Constitution did not trust the people.
That's why it was written.
Deliberately wanted to separate the people from representative government.
Right, absolute power will bring absolute corruption.
You got it.
Thanks.